Wouldn't it be nice to be completely debt-free and no longer have a mortgage? Our guest today says the strategy of equity acceleration for homeowners allows you to manage your money and monthly cash flow and help you pay off your house in as little as 5 years. Joining me now is Jordan Goodman, personal finance expert and author of Master Your Debt, to tell us all about this and how it all works. Jordan, welcome back, and thanks so much for being with us.
Great to be with you again, Tanya.
So first off, Jordan, please explain what exactly mortgage equity acceleration is.
Okay, it's a system of cash flow that allows you to pay your mortgage off, as you said, in typically 5 to 7 years instead of 30 years, with no change in your income, no change in your expenses, but the way you run your money that we'll describe makes a huge difference in making advances on your principal on a regular basis, as opposed to making very little progress in your principal with a traditional mortgage.
Absolutely. I mean, it almost sounds too good to be true. So let's break it down. Tell us first a little bit how a traditional mortgage structure would work.
Okay, traditional mortgage, say you have a 30-year mortgage, you got the same payment for 360 months. The first 10 to 15 years, almost all interest. You're making very, very little progress in the principal. After 15 years, maybe you paid off 10% of the interest, something like that. 10% of the principal, you've been paying most of the interest. So you're making very, very small amount of progress once a month. That's the way traditional mortgage works.
All right. So how does this acceleration process work? How can someone pay off more than that with their income staying the same?
Okay, this is a very different system than that. And here's how it works. You use a home equity line of credit, or what's called a HELOC, which allows you to put money in or take money out as you like it. All right, that's the first thing. Then what you do is you deposit your check into that home equity line of credit. So your income is in there, moving that line down on a regular basis. Then what you do is you pay your bills out of that HELOC, out of that home equity line of credit. So your money, which is normally sitting in a checking account earning zero, is instead in that home equity line of credit, pushing your principal down every day.
But do the banks want you to do this? Because ultimately they make more money the longer you take to pay it off.
That's probably why you haven't heard about this before, because no, the banks would rather that they pay you, that you pay them for 30 years and you keep your money in a checking account earning nothing, right? So no, I mean, there's nothing the banks can do to stop you. They sell HELOCs, but you're going to go to the bank branch and say, I'd like mortgage acceleration, and they say, what planet are you from? They're not going to know what you're talking about.
Right. Well, that's why perhaps it's a little complicated to execute, right? So you're going to step us through.
It's a different habit. It's not that complicated to execute, but there's some specific things you should do. But it's really getting into a different kind of habit than people are used to.
All right, you have some pointers to doing it right, because like you said, this isn't something that a lot of people are familiar with, and you can't just walk into the bank and they're not going to walk you through it.
Right. So the first thing is to get the right loan. You got to have a home equity line of credit that is completely liquid, meaning you can write checks on it of any size, however you want, with no fees, okay? And typically a home equity line is tied to the prime rate. The prime rate today is 3 1/4, so you're paying a much lower interest rate on this than you would on a traditional mortgage, which might be 5 or 6% today.
Is it as easy to get that loan as it would to get the traditional mortgage?
Similar. You have to have decent credit. You got to have positive equity. You got to be a good borrower. But yeah, there's loads of HELOCs available. It's a very competitive market. If you
can get the mortgage, you can get the HELOC, is what you're saying.
That's right.
All right, so then you got to set up some easy transfers. That's the next step.
So then what you want to do is to be able to transfer money from your checking account into that HELOC back and forth to be able to pay your bills. Remember, your goal is to get as much of your income into that HELOC every day that goes by, because the HELOC is based on what's called average daily balance. They take a look at the end of the day and say, how much is in there, how much do you owe, and that's how much interest you owe. So you're making progress that day, whereas with a traditional mortgage, they only take a look once a month and you're making very little progress.
So you got to make sure that the HELOC is your primary depository for income, right? So do you set up your, let's say, your salary direct deposit right into the HELOC?
If you can, some places won't allow you to do that, but then you do your direct deposit into your checking account, and as long as you have easy transfers, you can go directly from your checking account right into the HELOC, the same day or within a minute or so.
Right. All right. And then finally you say this is all possible to do yourself. Tell us about it. Is this safe and smart to take this on yourself?
If you do it right, it is a fantastic thing you can do yourself. That's correct. You have to know what you're doing. Now, there's some people out there that sell some software for like $3,500 that says, do this, and that's not good for the most part, because you really need some guidance to do this right. Once you get into the habit of it, you say, what have I been doing my whole life? I've been paying this 30-year mortgage that I'm going to end up paying 3 times in interest.
Quickly, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we only have a few seconds. I want you to tell us who this is for, because you say home equity acceleration isn't for everyone.
That's right. There is a website to find that, which is truthinequity.com, by the way, and it's for people who have positive cash flow, positive equity, and a credit score of like 680 or higher.
All right, Jordan Goodman, thank you so much. This was great information.
Thanks so much,
And that's
Tanya.
all the time we have for Good Money today. Remember, go to our website at abcnews.com/business. Ask our team of personal finance experts your questions.
ABC News Now. Good to know.